Morning everyone. This is lecture 8 of undergraduate thesis writing and formatting course. In this lecture basically we'll be talking about the defense PPT layout and some instruction towards your thesis defense presentation and the questions you will be asked and how to answer them, how to deal with the typical questions and how to design your defense PPT. So the first thing I will start with is the defense PPT layout, which is it depends on you, but there's a traditional format that you should follow. You should have a title page which will show in shortly the title page, and then you should have the problem statement, or you can also present the research objectives or the hypothesis, or it can also be maybe some abstract of what you have done, what's the significance of that problem, and as well as the conclusions in short. And after that, you will be talking about the methodology section, how you did certain design simulation or experiment or survey. And then you talk about your results and discussion, the implication of those results and future outlook. And finally, in short, just present the conclusions in some points. So this is how the defense PPT layout should be, just like your thesis, but in very concise form. So if I show you a PPT layout, I think it looks like this. So this is what I told about the title page, which should include the, it's best to have university logo or at least name, and then your thesis topic in Chinese and English, your supervisor's name, and then your name in Chinese or English. So after that, it's best to have overall view of your thesis. It can be the abstract. So here also, if you are confident, you can fit the Chinese abstract because all the teachers will be Chinese there. So although most of them they can read and understand English, you can also put some Chinese there. So just put an abstract there and take the time, maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute to talk about the abstract and key findings of your research. And after that, you give an agenda like this so that the audience and as well as your professors know that what you'll be talking about in how many minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. So in those 15 to 20 minutes, what you'll be talking about in different sections. So give a content agenda like this, and then you will start your research in different sections. So as you see, like this is the outline. I first started with introduction and then some background, what my research is about, and then research methodology, how I did, what, how, and why I did. So it's not just limited to what you did, how you did that, and why you did that. You should be like justifying all the things what you have done so far in short time, and you should use some kind of flow diagram so that you can show a step by step. There's no place for like presenting a lot of text in the presentation slides, so use more visuals than text. And then this actually depends on your methods. So depending on your methods, experiments, design or simulation, the slide designs also can vary, but the outline should be same. So as you can see, like after methods, there are results section. You can put your graphs, simulation videos, and in short, like what the graphs and visuals are saying. So just present those text small. And then sometimes you will notice that the teachers are interested in visuals or graphs. They will ask you questions from these. So make sure before presenting some graphs and slides or animations in the slide, you know about them, why certain things are like that. So you should have like the enough justifications and logics before using them. And if someone asks you why this is like this, you can answer them. And then also, as I said, like you have to present the conclusions and recommendations, what are the key findings. That's what the supervisors are interested in. And then also some justifications like the limitation of your study, correlation or discussion, we can say like the relation between your findings and others who did similar kind of research, and then implication or application of your results, and some future recommendations. So that's how it looks like. And the final slide is about you are asking about questions, and definitely they will ask questions, maybe 3 to 5 questions in maximum 3 to 5 minutes. Unless you are having some problems in your thesis, they will call you and then show you the problems, or maybe they will ask you directly to change these things, and then you can submit the final thesis within 1 week like that. So this is how the slide look like, and if you need, I will share it later in the group. But let's see certain things regarding the slide. So I hope you understand how the PPT layout should be, and some recommendations here. Using less text and more visual. I already explained you why it's this, because when you are using more text, uh, maybe the professors are not interested in that. They want to see the kind of design or simulation, or you have already researched on, or maybe they're not interested in like those overwhelming data or things. They just want to see the conclusion. So give them that what they're looking for. So that's why I said use graphs or tables in short, because these are the things that can concisely present the data. You can't use text. Maybe you can use bullet points, which is also appreciated, but alongside that, you should use some graphs, which can also help you maybe presenting those things. Graphs, tables, and figures also, and then flow diagrams, which I also showed you, and using uniform design, theme, or clear fonts, size, and color. So if I show you this thing, you see this entire lecture we are using some kind of slide headers and footers. So these two things were same in the whole lecture, right? So this is what I mean by uniform design theme. If you have certain uniform design theme, it looks better, because this shows that you are very careful in designing your slide, and also clear fonts. As you can see, like white on top of blue, it's very clear and no problem in maybe seeing it from distance. So in the depends, maybe there will be the professors of ages, right? So if your font size are very small and then they can't see it clearly, they will ask you a lot of questions. And another important thing, if I show you from that slide I showed before, you see all pages has the page number or slide numbers. So maybe after you finish your presentation, they will ask you go to slide number 20. Then you can easily track in which slide you have to go. Or if you don't have the slide numbers, they won't know how to like go there. Maybe it happened a lot of times, like maybe go to that graph and you don't know which graph he's talking about, or maybe he's having problem understanding you, like which slide you should go over. So use a slide number like this, and you see this also uniform. It's staying same. It's just changing the page number, and also this like uniform theme. The logo and the outline is remaining same. It's just changing the according to the slide. This is what I mean by uniform design. The colors stay same, blue and on top of white, and the font size and font title as well as all other things are remaining same. So this is what I mean by font size and also uniform design. And then next we'll see about practice and timing. So in the defense, actually you will have maybe on maximum 15 to 20 minutes, but you'll receive notice later on how much time you will be allocated, depends on how many students in your groups. So it depends, but maximum you should prepare for at least 15 minutes of presentation. And also, after your presentation, you will be given maybe 5 minutes of time. The defense board will ask you questions, and you will also answer them 3 to 5 questions within that 5 minutes. And as I showed you earlier in maybe another lecture, in the defense board, whatever question they asks you, you have to remind them, you have to remember them, and then take note of them. If in case you can't answer any of the questions, you will be given certain amount of time after the defense to go through that question and write the answer in a paper, and then you have to submit that. This one you can skip because you won't have enough time to go over the backup slide. But what I prefer, maybe when sometimes the supervisor or any other professors from the defense board are asking you any question, if you have relevant slide, go to that slide and show them and explain them according to your slide. And also if you are doing certain experiments or you have some models, you made something, then take those design and experiment samples. And if you are doing maybe design and simulation, carry your computer and give it in front of the supervisors before you start your presentation. And also for this thing is very important, because your thesis is very long, but your defense it has you have only maybe 15 minutes, so the contents need to be very concise. As you see, like the title and the layout is same like thesis. We have introduction, background, and then methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. But here you need to consciously present everything maybe within 15 slide or 20 slide maximum. So that's all the instructions I think more important to know before you go to present your thesis depends. And one more important thing, when they will ask you questions, right, you need to answer them anyhow. But if you don't know your research gap is like what you are doing. Is there any significance of that thing? Because if there's no research gap, that means you are just repeating another research already done by some other people's, right? So if your research is maybe having some kind of implications or applications, and then it's filling up some gap already in the existing knowledge, then it has some value. So you need to know what's your research significance, implications, or what is your research gap. And then outlook is like what you have done so far, what others can do to rectify the applications of your research. And then also you need to know very clearly what you did, the methodology of your research or experiments or design or simulation, or the survey you did, how you conducted that. So the methodology also need to be very clear, as well as the conclusions. And also I said, like, you need to have very clear idea about the graphs and figures you are using in your slide. So before you go to present your PPT, you must have idea about every slides, so that when they ask questions you can confidently answer all the questions. But in case it happens, you are not maybe understanding what the professors try to mean in the defense board, and you are unable to answer a question. So in one of our lecture, I said, like, don't be too silly or too clever. So sometimes maybe they are asking whether or not you did certain things you have included in your thesis or in your slide. So in that case, if you are too honest and then directly say that no, I haven't done that, and then also maybe I copied from somewhere, then you are done, right? So maybe you can just play with your words. Maybe somehow you can explain it. So that's why I'm saying, although it's not recommended, you don't use someone's file or someone's code or someone's design. But that doesn't mean that you will just directly say it like that, and then you will be opted out, maybe not to graduate, or maybe you fail in the defense board. So um, the kind of maybe you can use the kind of sentence you can use is more like polite request to maybe you can ask them to maybe rephrase the question. Maybe they can ask another way so that you can better understand the question and then response to it. So sometimes it also happens that maybe they are going to ask you questions from your sample. They just try to verify that whether or not you did the experiment by yourself. So in that case, you can say something like this. Maybe you did it with some other students in group. So it's okay to do the experiments in a group. That's fine. But yeah, and sometimes the questions can be like from your graph and you don't understand the graph, or you don't really have the answer to that question. So in that case, you can just politely say that maybe you don't have the answer for that questions, but you will try to think about it and give answer shortly, something like that after defense. So sometimes you don't need to be very clever, because all those professors are very experienced with 15, 20 years experience. So they know whenever they see your thesis or your PPT, what you are going to research about or what you have done without like extensive reading on that. So I think that's all for this lecture, and I'll later share you the PPT I showed you. So till then, stay safe.